And around this area, there is a Mongol Ethnic Township. And we understand that the Mongolian nation is actually the nation on horseback. So horse racing is very important for the Mongolian people. So every year at this time, there is a horse racing competition here. It is also a traditional sport for the Mongolian people. And we can see these contestants are wearing in orange costume, and their numbers are printed on the back of their uniform. And today there were other people, including the visitors, coming to join this horse racing competition. So we have to wait for a little bit for the competition to start. And we can see some of the contestants, they are wearing their local costumes to attend this competition. We have always heard the term the horse galloping and horse racing, and we will think this kind of competition may take place in the grassland. But here, we are having this competition on a forest park. It used to be a desert for this area, so after the efforts of the local residents, so this place has become a grassland and a forest land here. So it takes 2 generations to work for around like 48 years to turn this desert into a forest land. So the size of this area is around 7,000 hectares. So today the competition actually takes place in the ground inside of the forest park. There are 4 sections of the competition today. So first we have the flat racing. We have like 4,500 meters racing and 6,000 meters racing, and also we have the speed racing as well as the trotting racing. So for the speed racing, so the athletes, the contestants, they are competing on the speed. So they're competing on the endurance and the speed of the horses. And for the trotting race, so the key is to compete on the stability of the horse and also the appreciation of the horse trotting. Now we are waiting for the start of this competition, and they have already did some warm-up exercise for this competition. Our cameraman just found something interesting. I just realized that they're checking the age of the horse, and when they checked the teeth, they found one of the horse probably is too old for this competition, so that horse was expelled from this competition. As I just said, so the working staff will check the teeth to determine the age of the horse. So I believe one of the horse probably is too old for the lower age competition. So today we'll bring you the live streaming from CCTV and CGTN, Toutiao, and our Weibo platform. So if you're interested, just stay tuned for this live streaming to see the horse racing. Before the start of this competition, I would like to share some of the background knowledge with you. So, Horse racing has a long history, and it's also very popular in foreign countries. So back in the ancient Greek times, horse racing has become an official sport. It is a very popular game. For Mongolian ethnic groups, no matter how old are you, you are qualified to attend this horse racing competition. Even kids at very young age, they will start training for the horse racing. We have over 100 contestants attend this competition. After the registration, these horses will be divided into different groups. So we are pretty much close to the starting line. So for the competition, each group we will have around 20 horses. I don't know if you have noticed that some of the horse, there is no saddle available for the horse. But here we can see some of the horses, there's no saddle. Later we will invite a special guest to give us more introduction about the traditions of the horse racing. And for some of the Mongols, they are wearing the traditional costumes, and some of them they are just wearing a vest. So all the competition is burdenless. As you can see, this one, he's really well prepared, very bright color. So how old is he? So he's 18 years old, but has won many championships in the horse racing competition. And these two gentlemen are actually friends of that young contestant. So what are you doing right now? Are you recording some videos? No, I'm actually doing a live streaming for my friends. So these two gentlemen are wearing traditional Mongolian costumes. Well, let's see this one. Very stubborn horse. Seeing is believing. So you can see there actually quarrel about the age of the horse. So for this horse, it is around 2 years old. Do you know how to ride a horse? Of course, we do. So I think you are the champion for the older generation. So what's your expectation for this horse racing competition? What kind of things you want to see during this competition? And today we have very nice weather, very good air quality. We want all of the contestants can do their best. So this is the Mongolian language for cheer up. So it is very nice to see this horse racing competition here every year. So I just learned that we can check the teeth of the horse to determine its age. So what is the technique to determine its age? And for the 2-year-old horse, they haven't changed any of their teeth, but when they grow to 3-year-old, so probably they start to change some of their teeth. So for a horse, it has around 6 teeth. And for this competition, they have different standards and also divide the horses into different groups according to their age. So for a 2-year-old horse, they have never changed their teeth. So all of their teeth are newborn teeth. But after they grow into 3-year-old, they will change 2 teeth. And when they come to 4-year-old, they will change another 2 teeth. But actually, the horse has only 6 teeth. Now we think the first group is ready to start. Pretty soon the competition is ready to start. According to the gentleman, so we can check different parameters of the horse to determine its healthiness of the horse. For example, to check its belly and also the horse head. Well, let's count. We have 50 horses right now for the competition. Very fast. So we were doing the live streaming with the mobile phone. It feels like it's difficult for us to catch up with these horses. So let's change to a bird's eye view. We can see some of the working staff. They're holding the marks and approaching to the finishing line to check the results. So actually we cannot see it through our mobile phone because the horses are running so fast. Oh, it's very fast for one track. They're coming. So for this competition, it is 4,500 meters racing. So it is around my 4.5 track. Alright, they finished the first track. Well, I cannot see the number of the number one. So after one track, we already see the differences of the performance. Dear viewers, I'm Yu Mongyao from CCTV, and today we bring you the live streaming of the horse racing in a Mongol Ethnic Township. And today we have a special guest, and he will give us more knowledge and introduction about this horse racing competition. So this is the Vice Secretary, Mr. Chen Chai from Horse Racing Council in Mongol Ethnic Township. So I realize you're quite busy preparing for the horse racing. Yes, I work on the registration and the warm-up activities for this horse racing. So what are the highlights we're going to expect for this horse racing? Well, we actually have to pay attention to skills of the equestrian as well as the endurance of the horse. But for the skills, it takes those equestrians for several years of training to control the horse. They have to work diligently in order to prepare for the horse racing. So for this competition, it is a speed racing. And the threshold for the age of the horse is 3-year-old. So why you decide the track is 4,500 meters? Well, we have to consider the capability of the horses. As you can see, this one is pretty weak. It's lagging behind. And we think that that one was not well trained. So we cannot see the strong muscle of that horse. So after 2 tracks, we see a big differences. So after the 3rd track, you can see a more distinct comparison for these different horses. So maybe we can go to the finishing line to get a closer look for these horses and the contestants. Now we're heading to the finishing line for this competition. So after 4 tracks, they will approach to the finishing line. Now they're at the direction of the 3rd track. So we can see for the first one, they're actually catching up the last one. It's very fast. I also want to check who is number 1, but I cannot see it clearly. It seems like number 17 is leading the other horses. It is a sport, but we still see these athletes, they are not giving up on the competition, even though they're at the last group of the horses. Today is very hot. And for this forest park, it's pretty close to the city center. It's around 10 kilometers to the city center. So people can drive here easily and they can take some spare time to relax in this forest park. Well, we can see there's a very young contestant here. Is he the first one? The 45? Let's check out who's the winner. So number 45 is the number one. It's a very young athlete. I think he's just a teenager. You're cheering up for your friend. So we are just shouting out some slogans to cheer up for our friends. So I'm also on the competition, the next round of competition. So the distance is 6,300 meters. And I'm ready for that. And I'm 24 years old. Have you ever been this competition before? Yes, I always attend this horse racing competition. Did you race your horse? No, it's from my friend. So what are the preparation? So we have to prepare the saddle of the horse. And some of them, they don't have to prepare the saddle. So if you are not preparing the saddle, does the horse run faster? Well, that depends on the habits. I don't know how to ride, but I've only been on the rides. Can you describe what it feels like if you're on the horse? Well, we love horses. That's why we like horse racing. And I'm pretty much enjoying the horse galloping. I used to ride the horse, but I think it's quite painful to ride the horse. Well, if that is the case, you have to prepare the saddle. One of my colleagues used to ride horses, so they're saying that you have to control the pace of the horse. So how you control the horse when you're on the saddle? Well, if that is the case, you have to pull the bridle and trot slowly. Well, it sounds very easy, but for us it's very difficult to do it because it requires very high level of techniques. So practice makes perfect for the horse racing. So now we are heading to the second round of competition, the distance racing, 6,300 meters. I just felt that the number one was a teenager. Maybe it is easier for a teenager to ride a horse compared to others. So first of all, the athlete should be in the lightweight, and for teenagers, I think they still have to learn from other experienced equestrians. It feels like they're ready for a award presentation for the top 10 athletes. See some of the comments from the netizen. Is it possible that people can ride a horse and travel on a highway road? Well, you have to abide by the traffic law. When we talk about horse galloping, we have seen so many comments from the netizens. People will think about the theme song from the Princess Pearl. Well, if you have ever seen that drama, probably we can tell how old are you. Now they're checking, they're announcing the results. So after they change the vest, I cannot tell which one is which. So I'm looking for the champion. Well, so how old are you? I realized that you're number one. So I'm 16 years old. I'm from CCTV. We have bring the live streaming of the horse racing. So how do you feel about it? How long have you learned horse riding? I've been learning riding horse for 3 years. So what are the techniques that you want to share with the others? I think for the first 2 tracks, you're not number one. So you control the speed of the horse for the first 2 tracks. At the beginning, you have to pull the bridle in order to control the speed. But after the 3rd track, you start to race. This is a very good technique. So who tell you this kind of technique? I think of from myself. And for the next round of competition, I will also use this kind of technique for the distance racing, 6,300 meters. And also there is a 10,000 meter distance racing. Do you feel tired about this competition? So what about your horse? Are you going to change the horse? No, I will still use the same horse. So Please continue your preparation for the next round of competition. Wish you good luck. I think he's really calm about the competition. Now they're distributing the vest to the contestants. Some of the netizens ask questions. So, where have we brought this kind of horses? Well, this competition is organized by the Horse Racing Council of Shuangliao City of Namusi. So for this competition site, it is near the Namusi Mongol Ethnic Township. So many Mongols and Han dynasties living in this area. There are a tradition for the Mongol horse racing. So from time to time, they will organize this kind of horse racing competition. And for this forest park, it's open to the public. And people will come here to experience and appreciate the horse racing. And today we can see the horse racing competition is not taking place in grassland. Instead, it is taking place in the forest. For this area, it used to be a desert next to the Kurchen grassland. And 48 years ago, there is a forest park set up at that time with 2 generations, with over 5 decades, and the desert has been turned into a grassland. And the forest can also help to improve the ecosystem of this area. It is quite an experience to watch this horse racing competition inside of a forest. And today the athletes are competing with each other on the horseback. Now the first round of competition has completed and they're ready for the second round of competition. The cameraman just reminded me one detail So for these horses, they have just finished the first round of competition, and we can see they're not resting right now. I think of myself. When I was very young, I tried to do the exercise for 800-meter racing, and the teacher always told us, do not rest immediately. Now you can see these jockeys, they are leading their horses for a relaxation, to relax their muscles. And actually, if we get a closer look, you can see there is sweat on the surface of the horses. Well, the second round of competition is about to start. Yes, we can see the horses are also sweating at this time because they have just finishing a long-range competition. We can see they're talking with each other in Mongolia language, because most of the athletes, they're Mongols. And for this forest park, if we translate the name word to word, it's called One Horse Tree Park. I will further explain the name of the forest park. There used to be a legend of this forest park. Back to the Ming Dynasty, this is the city center of the Perking grassland. At that time, there were very few people living in this area. In 1614, there was a beloved couple. They decided to live here. And when it comes to a spring of 1616, and there is a forest coming up for this site, and this beloved couple has a daughter later on. However, for the father, used to send to a army, but unfortunately, he passed away in the war. At that time, the little girl started to growing up. After 2 years later, she heard the sound of a horse, and she was thinking maybe his father is coming back. But when she came closer, she found that it is not a horse, it is an elm tree. Because of the strong wind and the sound the elm tree is making, sounds very similar to a horse. But the shape of the elm tree looks like a horse head. And the little girl is very happy about this elm tree, and she also called the elm tree her little pony. And later, the little girl met another princess under the elm tree. And then the little girl became friends with the princess. And they're very grateful about that little elm tree. But now there was no elm trees right now in the same area, but people still love this area. They think the elm tree bring bad luck to the local people. That's why they name this area the One Horse Tree Forest Park. We see so many kids surrounding here, but most of them are females. We're not sure if they will be the equestrian in the future. We're still waiting for the next round of competition to start. So the next round of competition is about to start. Also, a speed racing. The distance is 6,300 meters. So for the speed racing, it's actually competing on the speed of the horse. Some of the horses are not equipped with the saddle. So most of the time for the speed racing, there is no saddle available for the horse. So now is the award ceremony for the last round of competition, and we are ready for the second round. So are these athletes professional? Yes. So they may have a very rich experience in horse racing. So what's your evaluation of the last competition? Well, we have to check the age of the horse. Some of them, they're just getting too old for the competition, but there's no cheating in the competition. So for this second round of competition, it is around 40 horses. Some people even register for the competition, but due to some reason, maybe they're not able to come here. And today, we have seen some people, they did not register in advance. They just pull their horse and come to the competition site and suddenly decided that they wanted to take the competition. Hello, are you going to join the competition? Yes, I'm ready for the 6,300 meter speed racing. How old are you? I'm 33 years old. So how many years have you been riding the horse? Well, over 10 years. So you started to ride a horse from a teenager, right? Yes. So what is your expectation for this competition? I want to be number one for the racing. So actually you are wearing a professional suit or costume for the horse racing. Did you do the warm-up? Yes, I feel very good. So we have to be familiar with this track in order to deliver a good performance. And for last year, I won like third place in the competition. So good luck. Now we are at the border between Jilin province and Inner Mongolia. And for this site, it's very close to the Mongol Ethnic Township. That's why we see so many Mongols attending the competition today. Hello. So we are from CCTV. We are doing the live streaming right now. Are you an audience for this competition? Yes. I'm from Bantala, not really far from here. So did you come here alone or with your family? I'm here with my family. I'm tired, so I want to take a rest here. So how do you feel about the last competition? Good. Well, you're feeling so calm. Did you get some video of the competition? Yes. I also like horse riding. So are you going to stay to the end for the competition? Well, I used to watch the horse racing competition before. Maybe cheer up for the contestants? Say something nice? Wish them good luck. Thank you. I think he's a little bit shy. I can hear some of the sound from the horse. So for all of these in questions, it seems they are quite light, at least less than like 55 kilogram. So I think if you want to learn riding horse, probably you have to lose some weight. So because our cameraman seems a little bit overweight, if he wants to be on the horse, probably he has to lose some weight. Some people are asking why are we not seeing some female equestrians? But for the Mongolia ethnic groups, I believe all of the people would know how to ride a horse, including females and kids. Now they are clearing the venue for the second round of registration of the horse racing competition. So the judges will give them the vest first and also check the horses and start the racing. Actually, at the entrance, we can see so many audience there. And on this side, we can also see many people are sitting here to watch the game. Probably we have to get closer to the entrance because we can not see anything from here. We can see so many details from this horse racing. And these in questions, they're paying extreme attention to the horses. So for the horses, it is not just partners with them, it is actually a family member. So the next round of competition is still a speed racing of the distance of 6,300. So they have to race for around 6 tracks. It's about to start. We also have to stay safe. Let's see if they will be checking the teeth of the horse again. So for many equestrians, they will wear very colorful suits and also wearing the horse racing boots. But in order to remove some of the burden of the horse, some of the contestants, they will not put any saddles on the horse. And for this kind of horse racing competition, there's no limitation for the registration. For the first competition, we have around 50 horses for the competition, but for the second round, we are not sure about how many horses will be attending competition. And for the age of the athletes, as long as you are above 6 years old, you are qualified to attend the competition. For the 4,500 speed racing, the champion was actually a boy at the age of 16 years old. So before the competition, so for the equestrians, they will tidy up the mane and also do some training for the horses in order to prepare the horses for the racing. And as we just seen from the first competition, some of the horses were not well trained. So after 2 or 3 tracks, they are lagging behind with the other horses. That's why training is so important for these horses. Horse racing is a traditional sport for the Mongols. So these horses are gallant horses, and it is very popular. Now they are entering to the track. So this was used to be the champion for the last round of competition, and this time he was number 42. We're looking forward to his performance. And also see another familiar face we just interviewed, and he's also ready for the competition. So for a 10,000 meter distance racing, how long it will take? I think it takes around 17 to 18 minutes at least. Have you seen the last competition? How do you feel about it? Do you think it's a fierce competition? Yes. Last competition we have around 50 horses. I think it's quite a fierce competition. So basically for the competition, what are the highlights you are focusing on for the competition? Well, I will pay attention to the performance of the horse. And also, we can see the coordination between the human as well as the horse. So the equestrian has to be very familiar with the movement of the horses so that he can better coordinate with the horse for a better performance. Do you know any of the tactics or techniques for the horse racing? Well, that depends on the distance. So for long distance racing, at the beginning you have to control the speed of the horse by pulling the bridle. I think these horses are quite skinny. Yes, that's why they can run fast. And all of these horses are from different breeds. We don't know why the pure breed horses are not allowed for the competition. And we can see different heights of the horses. Some of them are in a larger size, but we cannot judge the horses by their appearance. And for the speed racing, the horses are competing on their speed and the endurance. I remember one of the horse is quite short, but they're running really fast and have very good endurance. I think they're ready for the competition, but we're not sure when they will start. So maybe we can go to the starting line and wait for the start. Please be patient. So we don't know what is the message that is conveyed by the horse. The organizers just say announcing the rules, so the equestrians cannot ride on a horse right now before the start of the competition. They can only take the horse for a walk. I think they're still doing the warming up. And for this gentleman in black, I think he's the horse racer. He's not a contestant because he's not wearing the vest. And I realized some of the horses, they're actually decorated with ribbons. We really want to know when will the competition start. Hello, we are CCTV. We're doing a live streaming right now. I think you're holding many bridles and streams. So, what is that? So these are the bridles. So how many horses you have been racing for this competition? I raced only one horse for this competition. So which one is your horse? The horse with number 43. So this horse is 5 years old. So this horse will only attend this competition, the 6,300 meter racing. And this horse is not qualified for other competition. And I'm pretty much worried about my horse. I don't want it to be too exhausted. So what's your expectation for the horse? Of course, I want it to have a very good performance, and I'm really nervous about this competition. So how many horses in total have you been raced? Well, I have 5 horses. I race these horses just for horse racing competition. So what are the criteria for horse selection? Well, I have to check the physical strength for this horse. It has to look good. What are the others? Any requirement for the size, the weight, and the height? Well, we have to consider all of that criteria. So I'm actually just an audience for this competition. I think you know not a lot of knowledge about the horse racing, as you have provided so many useful information. So how do you feel about this competition? I feel very good, and this is an annual event, so many people are gathering here to appreciate the competition. Today I drove a motorcycle here. I live pretty close from the Shangliao city. I love horse racing competition, and last year was the first time for the horse racing competition. I also came here for the competition. So I have patience, I can wait. Now they're still doing the warming up for the horses. They have been circling around this area. So we are bring the live streaming on internet. So we have the CCTV mobile app and Weibo, Toutiao, and CGTN. So all of these platforms will bring us the live streaming about this horse racing. If you open your mobile phone, you can watch our live streaming online. So you can download the CCTV news app. Or if you have Weibo, you can watch this live streaming. I can help you to download the Weibo app in order to watch the live streaming. You can also replay the live streaming to see some of the videos we have been posted. So after we end this live streaming, you can replay our show. So we start this live streaming at around like 9:20, and we will bring everyone the full program of this horse racing competition. I think the 6,300 speed racing is about to start, and for the equestrians already on the back of the horse, now they're ready for the competition. For the equestrians, they already passed the starting line. Now the judges is asking them to return back to the starting line. Everyone is very excited. So there is, we can see some flags, which shows the starting line. But some of the equestrians, they already exceeded the starting line. That's why you can see some of the judges are helping them to getting back to the starting line. It is quite bustling here, so we can see the judges are shouting to the athletes. All of a sudden, the competition starts. I think some of the horses start earlier. We will find the organizer to get more information about it. And there is no gunshot for the start, because we don't want to disturb the horses. That's why the judges use flags to indicate the start. It is a 6,300 meter speed racing, which means the horses have to compete for around 6 tracks. We have to get back a little bit. I think they are finishing the first track right now. The second track, we see number 42, the 16-year-old boy. Now he's at the second place. In the first round of competition, we don't see too much dirt. But in this area, it used to suffer a drought recently. And according to the weather forecast, we're expecting rain today. But today is still quite dry right now. But at morning, we think the weather condition is quite good. Now, after each track, we can see the dirt actually everywhere. And also the horses are running really fast. We want to find the organizer in order to answer some of the questions from the netizens. I think for this round of competition, it lasts a relatively longer time. If you get closer, you can actually feel the speed of the horses. That's why people have to stand behind of the flags in order to stay safe. So we bring you the broadcasting with our mobile phone in order to capture the latest competition. I think this is the second or the third track. So for this racing, is compete on speed. But I think maybe it will be more interesting if the horses can do some stunts. See one of the athletes actually standing on the horseback. It's very thrilling and exciting. Especially you see this horse racing competition from another angle, from the lower angle. And for the top 3 athletes, I can see some of the techniques they're using, because I can see they're pulling back the bridle in order to control the speed of the horses. And for the next round of competition, it is the 10,000 meter racing. So for the horses, they have to reserve some of the energies. I think some people are holding trophies. Hello. Is this your trophy? So I'm also the number 1 for the racing. So I'm actually holding the trophy for him. I'm his friend. So I'm a brother of the 16-year-old boy. I'm the older brother of him. If my brother got number 1, it feels like I'm the number 1. I think he's doing very well in this competition. Do you know how to ride? Yes, sure. So maybe you're not as good as your younger brother? So what is that? Are you going to celebrate? So for Mongols, they're very good at drinking. Even though they drink some alcohol, they can still do the horse racing. So for the young kids, when they're at the age of 7 or 8-year-old, they will become very familiar with the horse and start to learn how to ride a horse. That's why the Mongols are always considered as the nation on the horseback. For Mongolian children, people always saying that as long as they start to learn how to walk, they know how to ride a horse. Some of the audience are asking why there are no female equestrians here. Well, we have female equestrians among Mongols, but today we don't have any female equestrians. Well, there's another track. Well, my younger brother takes part in this competition. Well, he's not attending this one, he's attending the previous one, the 4,500 meter horse racing. Well, we can see these horses are getting exhausted right now. They're approaching the finishing line. I realize some people, they are actually lifting themselves a little bit on the horseback because they wanted to release the burden for the horse. And you can see the audience, they are actually cheering up for the horses. If you make a certain kind of sound, the horse will recognize and understand now it's time to springs. So for this kind of competition, it requires coordination between the equestrian as well as the horse. And the equestrian has to adjust their position during the racing. I think speed racing is much fascinating compared to the trotting racing. So for trotting race, it is relatively slower than the speed racing. And the gait is very important for the horses. Now it is the second round of the competition. And probably we're not sure if we can wait until the fourth competition, which is the trotting racing. I think it is not the last track for this one, because we cannot see the finishing line. It seems like this round of competition already completed. But where is the finishing line? Well, it's on the other side. So for the next round is the 10,000 meter speed racing. So I want to ask a question. For the pure breed horses are not allowed for this kind of competition. For the pure breed horses, all of them are like imported horses. They have very fast speed. So that kind of horses will be leading the others. So we have to be fair and equal to other athletes. So for this kind of horses, these are mixed breed horses. So for these horses, probably have to take some rest in between the competition. Even though we have the same equation, but we have to change the horse for them. Some of the horses, they are already reaching their limits for the first two competition, so we have to change to another one for the next competition. We are very nervous and anxious about this kind of competition. And even though by walking around this area, I feel very exhausted, not to mention the equestrians and the horses. So we want to know who's number one for this competition. So it seems like no one knows who's number one. So I came here alone with my friends. Why you want to come here for the horse racing? Well, we love horse racing. I'm also Mongol. So we attach to the horses. And this young boy is actually my younger brother. How do you feel? I'm very happy. Do you know how to ride? I'm 12 years old. So I think you know how to ride a horse, right? Yes. Do you want to attend this competition? So we are looking forward to your performance in the future. So for the kids in Mongolia ethnic group, they learn how to ride at a very younger age. So in the past, because of the nationality, the Mongols are used to ride the horse. But now, even though we don't have to fight a war, but still, Mongols love horse racing and love to ride a horse. We're not sure when the next competition will start.
第3名30号谁呀？30号。你干我！
各位网友，在茫茫的人海中，我终于找到了刚才的冠军。
Dear viewers, I have found the champion for the last competition, the 6,300 meter speed racing. Where is him? Hi, you are the champion. You have got number 1 for the speed racing of 6,400 meter. Oh, I think you're pretty calm. You're not short of breath. Well, I'm used to it. I used to ride for 30 kilometers. This is no big deal. I also have to compete on the 10,000 meter speed racing. So, I think you pretty much like speed racing, right? Why you want to attend the speed racing instead of other kind of racing? I think the trotting race is not very good for me. That's why I like speed racing. So for the trotting racing, I think I have to put on a lot of weight in order to do it. So how long have you been riding a horse? I've been riding a horse for 4 to 5 years. So I'm not a professional, I'm an amateur. And also the horse whip is quite different for each one of them. So this is my horse whip, and for the length for the horse whip is the same, but the pattern may be unique to each one of the contestants. So when you're going to use the horse whip, well, I will use it at critical times. For example, during the dashing, I will use the horse whip to urge the horse. Are you going to shout during the racing? Yes, I will shout out some slogans for the horse. So I just want to learn the slogans maybe later, because he has to prepare for other competitions. realize some of our viewers really love horses, and he posted many comments, and he said he's very excited and he really wants to attend this competition and experience the horse racing. Let's check out his pants. It's getting dirty. Maybe it's the sweat from the horse. So maybe you can ask him to show us the slogans, the shouting to the horses. You're still doing the live streaming, okay. And the champion just told us that, so when we're riding the horse, we can shout out some slogans to encourage the horses. Can you demonstrate some of the shouts to the horses? Maybe we can invite another one to demonstrate you the shouts. And he used to attend many speed racing in China and has got very nice results in this competition. But he wants you to demonstrate some of the slogans. So can you show us like how you communicate with the horses? There are different kinds of shout outs. When you're pulling the when you're pulling the bridle, actually it is an indication for the horse to speed up. So for some of the horses, we think the performance was not satisfactory, and we think some of the horses need more training in order to improve the endurance. Maybe in the past few days there were heavy rain in this area. That's why the site is a little bit moisture, which is not very good for the horse racing. And for these horses, do you have a special diet for this kind of horses? From time to time, we have to add more nutrition in the diet of the horse so that they can be more stronger and healthy. From my impression, horses eat hay. So what are the things that you feed the horse?